Hey guys, what is up? It is Bibzuda7 here again, and welcome to another RuneScape 3 vlog here today. In this video, I'm going to be going over this week's update and talking about what they changed and the patch notes and stuff like that. And during the video, I'm going to be on my hardcore here because there's actually not much, if anything, to show for the actual update itself. So I'm just going to be like, I usually make these videos during my lunch break, and I like to do my dailies and a farm run on my hardcore during the lunch break, so I'll just be doing that in the background as I talk here. But yeah, if you guys missed it, I uploaded another Hardcore Iron Man episode yesterday, going over the clips I had left over from my brief hiatus, and also this weekend I uploaded a video of me doing the annual survey. So without further ado, let's jump into this week's update, and pretty much the only thing that came out this week was the nerfs to player-owned farm. And we have known about at least we've known about their plans to do this for at least a month now, if not longer. Ever since the Hunter nerf came about, I think they've been having talks of nerfing the player-owned farm. And I forgot to get my Juju potion, whoops. But yeah, they've been talking about nerfing it for a while now, and they've finally done so. And they had already posted all of the things that were going to be nerfed and the changes. I believe it was last week, so I'll go over what the exact specifics are now, but these have been known already. So first of all, they have just done a blanket reduction in the harvest XP by 50%. So you'll be getting half as much XP as you were previously from a fully grown animal, and like per harvest it'll just be halved as long as you get the maximum amount, which is not always guaranteed anymore. So we'll go into that as well, but that's the first change. Pretty big nerf, halved the XP, although it was pretty high, obviously. And now the big change here that's going to be a bit of an annoyance for especially Iron Men, but as well as others. Animal XP is now based on their health and happiness. So if when you harvest from the animal, they're at like 0% health and 0% happiness, which at least for me is often the case just because I'm not feeding them, because previously there was no reason to do so unless you were attempting to get them to breed, which I normally was not. So that is going to be a pretty big change, especially for Iron Man if you're doing, or actually for most accounts, I think Zygomites, which were previously the best XP, are now going to become probably unrealistic to continue utilizing because of the fact that mushrooms are just not easy to come by and definitely aren't going to be the best way to get your XP anymore, at least on Iron Man. I don't know how expensive they are on main accounts, but having to feed mushrooms is definitely not ideal, especially because they have been changed to, I don't know which animals ate how often before, but now they're all set amounts of food that they each eat. But yeah, that is another change to the XP. So if you have your animal at maximum health and maximum happiness, when you harvest from it, you will be getting 50% of the XP you would have previously. So I'm not sure how much it's reduced. Like if you're at 0% of each, do you get 0 XP when you harvest and just the resources? That would be kind of extreme to me. If it was just like reduced by like 80% or maybe something around those lines would make a bit more sense, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And then the third thing about XP is the harvest XP can now be boosted by items and bonus XP. So if you want to get the same XP rate as before, just go buy some treasure hunter keys and put bonus XP on farming. Basically, this is their underhanded way of pushing MTX even more than they have been recently. Although I think this also would apply to like outfits and stuff like that. They don't really list the specific things that are changed, but it doesn't apply to double XP weekends at the very least, which is, I think, good. So those are the main changes to XP. Pretty big blanket nerf. I'm not sure how this is going to like compare now to doing something like tree runs for XP. If those will become like somewhat relevant again or not, I guess we'll have to wait and see for people smarter than I am or more caring than I am to actually do those calculations. But for me, it doesn't really matter a whole lot because I'm already 99 farming, and I'm not too worried about going for oh, interesting. I'm not too worried about going for any higher level or like 120. Like I'll slowly eventually get it, I'm sure, like 120 and 200 mil, because I'll continue to do my farm. I would like to complete the breeding log. That is a comp cape requirement, and of course that does count in my mind as a collection for my collection king or my collection series on this account. My goal to eventually get all collections in my mind does include the breeding log. But yeah, that is one thing that they've changed, is it's several things to do with breeding. Next, they have reduced the ability to breed outside of pens, outside the breeding pen rather. In any of the regular sized pens, you can of course buy that ability, and they've made it so that animals in the small pen take 1.5 times as long to breed as the breeding pen. Animals in the medium pen take 2 times as long, and animals in the large pen take 3 times as long. So for any breeding you're doing in the side pens outside the breeding pen, it's now going to be much slower, which kind of sucks because it was obviously the main way to get yourself multiple different sizes of animals breeding. But hopefully it won't be too reduced. We'll just have to wait and see how that actually ends up shaking out, because I'm not sure how like the odds exactly work. Like they say these multipliers, but how rare was it before? I don't know, but that's that. And the other part of the breeding is they also reduced the amount of animals the collector can hold. As you can see in my chat, my collector is now maxed out. The collector could previously hold 30 of each type of species of animal, but now they can only hold 10. So yeah, that doesn't really make a big difference in my mind, just because my collector will, I end up having way more animals than I can even grow with my collector, because I don't check up on it as often as I could, and I'm not too worried about not being able to hold more, because the one thing that's important to note with the collector is the animals that you get inside of them can't be shiny, so that doesn't actually affect your like shiny rates or anything. Other than that, they have also increased the rate at which animals feed or eat the food, obviously, in their pens. Basically, they have made it so that each animal will eat one food every hour. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to that. I'm not sure what the rates were before, but they do say this is an increase, so it'll likely be a bit more annoying to upkeep your food stores. Although on Iron Man, for things that you're mainly going to be doing for XP now, which I assume would be chins and spiders probably for the small and mediums, you'd probably just go ahead and get meat and do that, because you can get the 300 raw bird meat every day from the, what's it called, the Ooglog shop. So yeah, that's probably how it will work out in the end. But other than that, they've also addressed the concerns that the breeding log would be harder to complete because of these changes, and basically they've made it so that the shiny enhancing traits, which I think are like radiant and glistening, and those there's 3 of them, but I don't remember the other one, shining maybe, I'm not sure, but they've made it so that those are more effective in, like, they basically increase the shiny chance more than they did before. So it should hopefully bring the breeding log into, not make the breeding log harder to complete in terms of shinies. And they've also made it so that traits are now more likely to be passed down from their parents to their descendants, which I guess is good, especially if you've got a rare perk or trait combo that you want more of. You should have an easier time doing that. And then they've also made it so that shiny animals will give you 25% more XP than the regular animal, which used to be only 10%. So now it's more worth it to kind of invest into getting a good farm up and running that gives you a lot of shiny animals, because you'll get higher XP rate from that. But yeah, those are all the changes to player-owned farm. Again, I'm not 100% sure how big of an impact this will have on the farming training, but in my eyes, it doesn't really change anything for me. Since I'm already 99 farming, I don't really worry too much about my XP, and I'm mainly looking at getting the breeding log completed now. But yeah, I think it was definitely something that needed to be changed. But I don't really know. I feel like they kind of went too far with these nerfs, in my opinion. But we'll have to wait and see how things end up shaking out when people figure out, what's optimal and all that, as they tend to do. But figured I would just go over the specifics in the news for you guys who don't feel like reading them yourself or just wanted something to listen to there. But obviously this is no new content. Once again, I was really hoping that the Slayer log, the Slayer collection log that they talked about in the month ahead, would come out today, because I've kind of been holding off doing too much more Slayer on my hardcore until that comes out, because I would like to obviously have any drops that I get start filling out that collection log while I'm doing Slayer. But that will likely be coming out next week, I would assume, because the bank placeholders is supposedly going to be coming out at the end of the month, but we'll have to wait and see if that's actually happening. Also, they are releasing an updated bank placeholders beta tomorrow, so that is going to be coming out. I probably won't be making a video on that, just because I made a video on the original beta, and now I'm probably just going to wait until the actual update comes out to give any other further thoughts or opinions on the changes and how they're going to be, ending up when they do come out eventually. But yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. There was a list of patch notes also released this week. However, I read through pretty much all of them, and there wasn't like any at all that I thought were really worth mentioning. They fixed some bugs. Apparently, you can now, they fixed the bugs that were happening with achievement diaries where you couldn't claim certain ones, I think. But other than that, I don't think there was really, there was no QOL changes really that I saw that were worth mentioning or anything like that. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be the end of this video, you guys. Pretty short little vlog here. Just figured I would get this one out to talk about those POF nerfs. And other than that, you guys can let me know your thoughts on the nerfs in the comments. Do you think they went too far? Do you think they were about right? Or, what are your thoughts on it? I know a lot of people already have 99 farming, so they're not really affected by these changes per se. But still, I'd be interested to see what people think and how it maybe affects your training going down the line. Are you going to go back to tree runs, or what are your thoughts on the matter as a whole? But anyways, guys, thanks for checking out this video. I hope you all did enjoy it. Again, leave me your thoughts in the comments down below. If there's no further developments on any news or anything within the next week, I will be having my Hardcore Ironman episode out on the weekend as per usual. But yeah, thanks for checking out the video once again, you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.